Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now January 24th of 2025, and given that we have a lot of celebrities, a lot of actors, actresses, producers, writers, directors, and even comedians at this point within the Hollywood bubble, within the film industry, that are really getting very offended and very angry about all of the executive orders that President Donald Trump had signed. One of the biggest ones of all, by the way, has a lot to do with getting rid of DEI, which, by the way, stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, starting off with getting rid of that in multiple agencies. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, we have a lot of actors and actresses getting very offended about this. For example, those like Alec Baldwin, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and now we have even, yes, Jada Pinkett Smith, who really isn't all that relevant anymore, especially after everything that happened back in 2022 with the Will Smith slap situation against Chris Rock and how that really kind of backfired on her as well. We have a lot of things going on here with Jada Pinkett Smith that we have to talk about. Now, one thing about all of this is that Jada Pinkett Smith is that she is very well known for going on her rants about diversity, equity, and inclusion and everything else to do with the film industry and how she got tossed out of different roles within the actual movie business from, small to major roles, whatever it may have been. Well, what's interesting here has a lot to do with Jada Pinkett Smith and how she's beginning to really show her bitterness, her overall behavior toward Trump, really getting rid of DEI. Now, this is something that really needed to go because this was actually being chosen over merit, professionalism, and capability when it comes to a lot of talents out there. Now, moving onwards, with the entire woke media now in pure panic mode after losing hundreds of millions of dollars due to the ongoing public backlash, one monumental development now involves more to do with Jada Pinkett Smith, who recently had a meltdown over President Donald Trump taking office, where she delivered the following. As a woman of color and someone who values other actresses that come from different ethnic backgrounds, I find the Trump presidency to not only be damaging to our country, but also extremely offensive with how he wants to abolish DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is the backbone of our country, especially in the government and in entertainment. And to have this man now in the process of banning the use of hiring those that are affiliated with diversity, equity, and inclusion is not only unprofessional, but also it sends the wrong message around the entire globe. And it's going to result in a loss of millions of jobs. We need to cherish DEI, and more women in this business in the film industry need to speak up already and defend for what they believe in. We shouldn't always have to only look at things like merit and capability. The great thing about DEI is that we can find those that can relate to so many around the world and to finally send a message that they can get careers in this industry too. What our president is essentially saying is that if you come from a different ethnic background, then you are not welcome in the government or now in the film industry or anywhere within entertainment. It's ridiculous and very frightening that this man made that many mindless executive orders. I share the same thoughts as my husband, and Will was also very upset about the move to abolish DEI in movies and in the government. It's a disgusting behavior coming from Donald Trump. This is the sole reason why so many do not approve of this man that believes he is all high and mighty and can change the rules just like that with no questions asked. Now guys, before I move on about what Jada Pinkett Smith is talking about, she's obviously getting very bitter over the fact that it's a combination of things. She did lose a lot of roles, and she did blame it on, those executive producers, those different board of directors at different studios around the entire country, especially within California/Hollywood. She blamed it on misogyny and sexism and all this, nonsense that's always spewed by these actresses. But one thing is for certain is that she really goes so low to say that merit and capability is something that should not be the priority, that you should really focus on DEI as the ultimate priority above all else. That's basically what Julia Roberts said as well, and I think that's where she's getting it from. But when you look at everything like this, right, when you realize that now DEI is being stripped out of agencies first, and now Trump is calling for this to be called out and taken out of Hollywood, and now more producers and directors are speaking up, and they are actually willing to drop DEI. But there is a resistance there. There are some studios that are unwilling to do that. They're unwilling to drop DEI. Some major Hollywood studios, such as the Walt Disney Company, by the way. That's another big one. So they will continue to double down. It's going to be a slow turn of the tide. It's going to take time. It's going to take multiple years for a full turnaround where you have a nice consistency of these DEI-free driven projects, whether it's movies or television shows. But I digress. Let's move on. She goes on to conclude, it's all a mind game. He wants to see what he can get away with, and everyone is falling for it. We need to stand up for what's right in this world and in this business. We must protect the backbone of Hollywood and the many opportunities it can deliver to so many talented people from different countries. Trump keeps using the word woke and doesn't even know what it means. He also likes using the word ideology around too. He also doesn't know what that means. It's all lunacy and he knows it. He knows exactly what he is doing, and it's time we speak up for what needs to be respected. Well, Will and I believe that this act by Trump is truly going to put the United States in a very dark place for 4 years and potentially another 4 after that if his same party has a victory in 2028. Now, look, before I deliver the last words of Jada Pinkett Smith, let me just say one thing about her, is that she's now throwing Will Smith into this, really kind of getting him thrown into politics. I'm not quite sure if he wanted that or if he didn't want that. Who the heck knows at this point? But one thing is for sure, Will is usually silent, vocally speaking, in the public eye when it comes down to a lot of politics. He hasn't really talked about it all that much or all that frequently. Yes, he has shared it here and there, sprinkled it around, but nothing all that much. So she goes on to close by saying, we absolutely can't have that, because I tell you what, if we take back 2028, we bring back DEI, and we bring back respect to this community and to this entire industry that needs to continue to cherish diversity, equity, and inclusion. So again, there you have it. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith, I think, is getting very defensive like this because she knows that she's out of a job, basically. She doesn't have any work lined up as an actress, if you even want to call her an actress at this point. But she has nothing lined up when it comes to any major Hollywood role. We know that she's trying to inch her way into The Matrix 5. And yes, by the way, The Matrix 5 is a thing. This is something that's now in the works to kind of recuperate from the atrocity that was The Matrix 4. But the thing about Jada Pinkett Smith is that she doesn't really quite know when to keep quiet. She's so irrelevant, it's almost like you might as well not even listen to her anymore, but this is just what she has to say. She drags Will Smith into this, drags him into the overall argument, and either willingly or unwillingly, Will got dragged into politics here. And I'm sure that he may have not wanted that because he's trying to make a comeback with his movies. He's trying to really just stay silent when it comes to politics, but we all know what he believes in. But one thing about this is true, is that Jada Pinkett Smith is trying to become more relevant again. And I don't think this is going to help at all. In fact, I think it's only going to harm her further. She keeps digging a deeper hole every time she speaks, basically. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.